Let's talk about the emotion of trading. How do you defeat the emotion? How do you become a better day trader? Well, first thing you should do is buy the course, $199. Learn how to day trade the right way, right? If you really want to get serious here, you got to get serious. Honestly, want to be serious, you guys. I want to talk about this. We talked about it on the live stream for a minute. People were like, Patrick, how do you stop the greed? How do you stop the FOMO? How do you stop, all of these emotions? Well, we actually talk a lot about it in the course, but I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea of how I manage this, right? I look back at the last 8 years of my life, and I'm like, well, the last 8 years of trading, and I'm thinking to myself, like, out of all of the times that I was up green in the morning, I'm up green. Out of all of the times that this happened, how many times did I come back and continue to trade and make more money? It happened, it has happened. I've had plenty of days where I kind of came back and crushed it in the afternoon as well. But when I look at the bigger picture, when I look at the overall big picture for the last 8 years, there's way more times, a lot more times where I would come back, I would get greedy, I would keep trading. I have, let's say I'm up $3,000 on the day, and then I come back, the first trade is down 500, and all I'm thinking about, and I know you think about this as well, the only thing that I'm thinking about is how do I get back to being up 3,000 on the day? Because you're like, I don't want to be down less than I was already up. So now you're in this tilt mode where no matter what, you just got to get back to that $3,000 day. And you don't care what you do. You don't care if you blow up the account. You don't care if you just lose everything because you're so obsessed with getting back to that original profit target that you had in the morning. So I think you really gotta be serious when it comes to telling yourself, like, hey, if I continue to trade, sure, maybe I make more money. But do I need to make more money? Do I need, based on the consistency, based on my overall strategy, based on when I normally trade? If I look back and I think about it, I'm like, okay, normally I make most of my money first couple hours. Middle of the day is very hit or miss for me. End of the day, again, suspect. Do I want to continue to add on the risk? Do I want to continue to push the envelope when I don't really need to? Right? That's one thing. Do you need to continue to push the risk? These Apex accounts on the day right now, we're up almost $2,000 in these accounts, right? There's a consistency rule anyway. So the consistency rule stops me really from going and making $10,000 or making more money, putting on more risk, because I know that I can't make more than 30% in one day anyway. So it's like, if I think about my consistency rule, I'm right around $1,000, $2,000 a day is kind of my target. So we're there, right? So we can check the box. All right, that's fine. We already hit that target. We can look at these. I made 2,000, 2,000, 2,000 in these 3 XFAs. And I'm like, okay, what am I doing now? How do I get from here? Did we blow up some XFAs recently? Yes, clearly you can see that. But we got 3 right now. We got another 2 funded here very soon. And I think the longer that I do this, the more that I trade, the longer that I trade, the more lessons that I learn. Because I'm like, all right, at a certain point, I just don't need to keep putting on more risk. Why do I need to put on more risk? For what? To make more money? You can see here in the fast track accounts, that's making money there as well. $1,500, $1,800. Mixture there, copy trading. My P&L's fine. Is the market going back up here, bouncing off the VWAP? I'm looking at it now should I got long there at the VWAP? Sure, coulda, maybe, woulda. It's very easy to get caught up in the shoulda, the coulda, the woulda as a new day trader, even as an experienced day trader. It's one thing to go on Twitter and say, hey, guys, the market's going to go up today. It's one thing. That's the easy part. The hard part is pulling the trigger, taking the profit, getting stopped out, whatever it is. That is the actual hard part of trading. It's very easy to sit here and be like, okay, I think the market's going to go back up. But then the hard part is okay, where do I enter? Where's my stop loss? What is my overall plan? And that's the great thing about the course. And not to keep pumping the course here, but I do think for $200, there's so much value, so much information in this course that can really help people out there that might be struggling, trying to figure out indicators, trying to figure out an overall momentum strategy today. Good example of the 15-minute range. We had the 15-minute range play out. We had the VWAP there. We had this push, right? We get above the 15-minute range here, 960s, a little over 100 points. 100 points with your 15-minute opening range breakout. We held the low. We broke to the upside. This is something that I've been talking a lot about as well here on YouTube lately. The opening range, 15 minutes, right? What do we have? We had a huge dip down. We dip all the way down. This is the low, the morning low. We start to push back up. What do we get? We got a little bull flag right there. But again, remember, what is going on? 15-minute opening range. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, well, hold on a second. We're back in the middle, right? We're back in the middle of this 15-minute opening range. So that's telling me that if we start to push through here, if we start to get through this high, there's a good chance that we have some continuation through that direction, like in that direction, right? So I want to see that 15-minute range kind of hold, push back to the middle. We get in the middle. We see the opportunity. We had the VWAP there. Same thing with the ES. And that's kind of where you're looking at. You're like, okay, that makes sense, right? It makes sense that if we get back through that 15-minute range, we then would continue in that direction because it takes a lot. It takes a lot for the market to kind of, all right, we're pushing back up. All right, okay, we got momentum. You know, people are getting stopped out. People are waiting. They're like, oh, man, if we break above the high from the open, well, then, you know, I'm going to get stopped out. And I think a lot of that kind of plays into it, right? There's people who have their stop for the shorts right there at the open. And then you have the people who are trying to maybe, you know, buy the dip down here. And it's a battle, right? You have a battle going on. And at some point, obviously, the bears, the bulls, someone's going to lose that battle. And the market's going to make a kind of a move in a certain direction based on the overall kind of momentum there in the market. So that was kind of a beautiful little setup to get that breakout for the 15-minute opening range. We talked about the idea of the bounce. Where are we going to bounce at today? We bounced off of yesterday's low. Again, this is all very textbook. We break down my whole entire kind of morning checklist when I'm waking up, what I'm looking at, where the levels are, how do I identify these things. And you can see right now, we're still kind of like pushing up here off the VWAP. The VWAP kind of giving us an idea to not get short. Don't get short when we're right there above the VWAP. There's more opportunity for an upside move when we're holding that volume weighted average price. We held yesterday's low. Yesterday's low right there, ding, ding, ding. Little double bottom. And you can see kind of the reaction off of yesterday's low. A very, very serious reaction, you know, very, very serious reaction off yesterday's low, 200 points to the upside. And now a little pullback. But it's like, it's hard for me to get short anywhere in this area. Why would I get short anywhere here? Why would I do that? Well, maybe if I don't know that the 15-minute opening range is right there, that's your 15-minute range high that we're bouncing off of. So that's pretty fucking bullish. We got yesterday's close right there. We got the VWAP. We have all those things going on. So there ain't no reason for me to do nothing. There's just no reason. You can see here, if I pull up on Tradevate, if I pull up the chart here on Tradevate, I actually took a little long here off this 21, just a little push up for this break. So we held the 21 EMA, and look at that push up there for 50 points. I just took a little scalp there in that combine just to put some green on the board. We already got enough for today, but again, the push is real. 21 EMA, you can see kind of just the slow little move down and then chop, 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 and then bang, we get the move up again. So the VWAP playing out, the 15-minute opening range playing out, it all played out. I mean, this is all textbook. You don't need to go watch ICT videos for 20 hours to figure out what to do. And it's not rocket science, guys. Don't overcomplicate this shit. Look at the bigger picture. What is going on? We got support down here at the lows. Yesterday's lows obviously being an important level. Today, that level holding, right? The idea that yesterday's level, the low held, is obviously bullish. And you can see kind of this little push back up here now, holding up there at the VWAP, pivot points, you know, all that fun stuff there. So right now, that pivot point there at the 40s, kind of holding us down, the high from earlier, 85s. If we can get a little bit of a bull flag kind of maybe here for this push back, you'd be looking for kind of that push above the highs next. I mean, it's kind of just how the market goes. The market kind of pushes up, pulls back, pushes up, pulls back. I mean, this is textbook Patrick Whelan concepts right here. Textbook, my friends. So there it is. If you guys want to learn more, check out the course. Link down below. Let's go.